In the headlines, President Bola Tinubu's inaugural speech announcing end of fuel subsidy triggers fuel queues. NNPC welcomes move as Petroleum Regulatory Authority says it will ensure smooth transition to avoid supply disruptions. DSS, EFCC operatives clash in Lagos State. On the foreign scene, armed men kill 4 in northern Cameroon attack. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. President Bola Tinubu will see through the removal of fuel subsidy initiated by former President Muhammadu Buhari. The new president was sworn in on Monday at the Eagle Square in Abuja in a colorful ceremony that stretched into 4 hours. President Tinubu explained that funds saved from the fuel subsidy removal will be rechanneled into better investment in public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and jobs that will materially improve the lives of millions. Kehinde Amodu reports.
It's a new dawn, and an early morning rain does not deter the huge crowd attending this inauguration. At about 10:40 a.m., Bola Ahmed Tinubu takes oaths of office and allegiance as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 10 minutes after Kashim Shettima was sworn in as Vice President. The promises to be a president for all, irrespective of the circumstances of history and political differences, precedes the real bombshell, the declaration that subsidy is gone.
No provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone.
President Tinubu says his administration will target a higher GDP growth, significantly reduce unemployment, and offer budgetary reform that will stimulate the economy without engendering inflation.
Must work towards a unified exchange rate. Direct reform from arbitrage to minimal investment and the plant and the government, just as a power that will not a real economy.
The new president is making some grand promises, given the state he has found the economy in. For instance, he is bold to pledge that electricity will become more accessible and power generation will nearly double.
I have a message for our investors, local and foreign. Our government shall review all the complaints about multiple taxation. And review various anti-investment inhibitions. We shall ensure that investment and foreign business repatriate their hard and dividend and profits home.
But it's early days yet, and there's plenty of time to know if these promises will be kept or not. From the Eagle Square, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Meanwhile, fuel queues return to filling stations in Abuja following President Bola Tinubu's inaugural speech that hinted fuel subsidy is gone as no provision is made beyond June this year. Kabiru Lawal reports that Nigerians are now calling on the new president not to make life difficult for the people.
When you talk about reduction of subsidy, it will affect a whole lot of people. It will affect the transportation because we, the low-income earners, it's not too easy for us. Coming from our homes, okay, today I was leaving the house. There was no vehicle. I came today, okay, this is where I work. I want to buy fuel. No fuel. The filling station is closed right now. No fuel.
The country is not yet ready for this, because before you remove subsidy, I'm sure they're supposed to have made some plans on the late plans of empowering, especially the youth. There are a lot of people that are not working. Even the workers, imagine someone earning less than 50,000. How can that person cope in this particular situation that we are in? The country is not yet ready.
In the meantime, the Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, says the company welcomes the subsidy removal announced by President Bola Tinubu during inaugural speech on Monday. Fuel queues have resurfaced at filling stations following the announcement. Kyari had previously stated that Nigeria spends 4 billion naira monthly on fuel subsidy, so the decision by the government is a welcome one.
The decision of Mr. President to announce that subsidy on PMS is over, and this has really been a major challenge for NNPC's continued operation. We have been funding the subsidy from the cash flow of NNPC since government is unable to defray the cost of subsidy that is due to the corporation. And we believe that this will free resources for the NNPC to continue to do the great work that this company will do for our country, and it allows us to continue to function as a very commercial entity. And we welcome this development. Secondly, we would like to assure Nigerians that we have sufficient supply of petroleum products, particularly petroleum motor spirit in our country, and there is no reason to panic. We understand people will be scared of potential changes to price of petrol, but that is not enough for people to rush to fuel stations to buy more than they need. But we are also assured that, we are watching all the distribution networks and support facility, and we believe that this will come will be restored very soon. Thank you very much.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says it is working with the NNPC Limited and other stakeholders to guarantee a smooth transition following the removal of fuel subsidy. President Bola Tinubu, in his inaugural speech on Monday, said that fuel subsidy regime had ended with the commencement of his administration. The authority made this known on Tuesday in a statement signed by Kimchi Apollo, General Manager, Corporate Communications, NMDPRA, to address concerns regarding the removal of fuel subsidy. Apollo said that the authority was working to avoid disruptions in the supply of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, as well as ensure that consumers were not shortchanged in any form. He assured ample supply of PMS to meet demand and that the authority had taken necessary steps to ensure that distribution channels remained uninterrupted and fuel readily available at all filling stations nationwide. Now, as millions of Nigerians across the country witness the beginning of a new administration, many are curious about the areas that will be given priority by the new president. Trust TV's Abdurrahman Umar speaks with political analysts who examined President Tinubu's proposed policies and agenda for the country.
Examining President Bola Tinubu's plans for Nigeria's economic development, job creation, infrastructure, as well as tackling Nigeria's pressing challenges such as poverty and insecurity. Analysts say President Bola Tinubu has the requisite knowledge and capacity to revamp Nigeria's economy.
Lagos is even more difficult to run and to succeed than even other countries, with due respect. And this is the first priority for the president and commander-in-chief, and he must, as a matter of urgency, as a commander-in-chief, pay on-the-spot visit.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, since before swearing in as the 16th president of Nigeria, has pledged to create jobs for millions of unemployed Nigerian youths. Although past leaders have made similar promises of job creation, revamping the economy as well as tackling insecurity, but failed to fulfill such promises, a policy analyst, Baba Yusuf, says the new administration under Tinubu would work tirelessly to deliver on the Renewed Hope agenda.
The Renewed Hope agenda is a robust document that has spoken to some critical issues that I believe are very important to the critical next steps, if you like, of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that in the next 2 to 3 months we are going to see impact.
On tackling insecurity, a security expert, Salu Dantata, believes a total restructuring of the security architecture in the country is what Nigeria needs at the moment.
Well, even though he talked about reforms in his inaugural speech, I think it goes beyond that. What the Nigerian security from the armed forces, police, paramilitary and others deserves and needs now is total restructuring for efficiency.
For the director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, Dr. Sam Ahmadi, what the president needs is to quickly appoint the right people who will get the job done while unifying the country.
I think the president has access to the right kind of people, I think. I mean, having been governor for 8 years in a complex state like Lagos, it's a cosmopolitan with all the diversity, the brain power. So he would lack people of idea.
Ahmadi said the president will not find this a difficult task since he has been actively involved in the democratic life of the nation since the beginning of the Fourth Republic.
He has been around not just as governor, but for the past 60 years, one can argue that he has been actively involved in discussing public policy. But what he needs to find quickly is the political will to get the right people into office.
Although many believe that President Tinubu recorded unprecedented development as governor of Lagos State and can replicate same in Nigeria, others have contrary views.
In fact, if you want to do a comparative analysis in terms of numbers, the population of Lagos is bigger than other countries where you have that are federal republics. You know, so the performance or the expectation should not be zeroed down within the geographical size of a location, but indeed the complexity of that entity.
Despite the fact that rival political parties are in court seeking redress over the conduct of the 2023 presidential elections, supporters of the president believe there is renewed hope for the country. Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to his country home in Daura a few hours after the inauguration of the new president and his vice. Hundreds of residents came out to receive him in a colorful and cheerful celebration. Trust TV Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin was in the ancient city of Daura, and here's his report.
Arrived in Daura, former President Muhammadu Buhari was received by the Emir of Daura, Umar Faruk, his friends and relatives, as well as hundreds of Daura residents. The former president is now back home after ruling the country for 8 years, and the people of Daura expresses happiness for the successful completion of Buhari's 8th year in office. The people of Katsina and Nigeria in general are very happy. We believe that Buhari has done 99% of what he promised Nigerians. The ones he didn't, we the people of Daura are asking Nigerians on behalf of him to forgive Baba Buhari. The former president is expected to stay in Daura for 6 months before finally relocating to Kaduna. But some are worried that there may be no enough amenities to support the presidential lifestyle. Baba is finally back. He is not relocating to anywhere. He always talked about his farm. And we know Baba is back and he will be going back to his farm as well. According to the people close to the former president, Buhari lives a simple life and that he can always adapt to any situation he finds himself.
General Muhammad Buhari, the president, really he runs a simple life. I don't think there's any place that you can take him he cannot be able to see. Take place of his hometown where they were born and brought up here.
While celebration continue in Daura, a special Durbar in honor of the former president is expected to be conducted on Tuesday at the Emir's Palace. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Katsina.
And there was a mild drama on Tuesday morning at the Lagos office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, as operatives of the Department of State Services prevented the officials of the anti-graft agency from accessing their office. It was learned that the feud arose from a pending rivalry between both agencies over the ownership of a building located at number 15A Awolowo Road, Lagos State. An official of the EFCC told Daily Trust that the DSS operatives arrived at their office Tuesday morning and refused to leave the premises despite dialogue between operatives of both agencies. The spokesman of the anti-graft agency, Wilson Ojare, when contacted, described the development as strange, explaining that the two agencies had lived together within the facility for over 20 years without any rancor. But in a swift reaction, the spokesman of the DSS, Peter Afunaya, told our correspondent that the property in question belonged to the service, and as such, it is not correct to say it operatives barricaded EFCC office. He appealed to the media not to create any imaginary rivalry between the two agencies, adding that they are great partners working for the good of the nation. Security operatives and a local vigilante group on Monday rescued 3 more victims of Thursday's kidnap on the Lokoja-Abuja highway. Among the 3 rescued victims, who are all indigents of Imo, was a pregnant woman. Dauda Aliyu, chairman of Kogi local government area, confirmed this in a statement in Lokoja. The council boss further said that security operatives were determined to root out criminals from every nook and cranny of the state to give room for peace, growth and development. Aliyu expressed confidence in Governor Bello's formidable security architecture and his resolve to maintain his robust approach until the end of his tenure on January 27, 2024. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at agroclimatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. President Bola Tinubu's inaugural speech announcing end of fuel subsidy triggers fuel queues. NNPC welcomes move as Petroleum Regulatory Authority says it will ensure smooth transition to avoid supply disruption. Now moving on to subnationals, Governor Dauda Lawal and his deputy Malam Mummuni have been sworn in Zamfara State. The state's Chief Judge, Justice Kulu Aliyu, administered an oath of office to Dauda Lawal and his deputy at the Trade Fair Complex, where the swearing-in took place. Governor Dauda Lawal, in his address to the people, said that they have come to the rescue of Zamfara State from the insecurity, poor healthcare, agriculture, and youth empowerment. The governor, who alleged that he met an empty treasury, said that it will pose a huge challenge for the administration to deliver on the promises made to the people during the electioneering campaign. However, appealed to the people to be patient, as the task of rebuilding the state will not be an easy one.
What
In a similar vein, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State has been advised to focus on human capital development, security, agriculture, youth empowerment and social inclusiveness in order to turn around the fortunes of the state. He was given the advice when he took the oath of office for his second term at the Mahmoud Ribado Square in Yola. Salis Lawan reports.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, who promised to consolidate on the achievement recorded during his first term, which earned him another 4 years, urged the people of Adamawa to give his administration maximum support and cooperation.
I will continue to serve you in absolute humility and devotion to your needs and expectations. I will continue to upgrade your resources to improve your living condition and in the same way secure the future of our children so that they too can be productive and fulfilled in their aspiration as their counterparts anywhere in the world.
Security at the inauguration ground was watertight as spectators were treated to colorful displays by a detachment of the armed forces.
My main drive from the inception, I call their attention, they have to be dedicated, trustworthy, and there shouldn't be a nonchalant kind of attitude toward work. There shouldn't be a laissez-faire. So my men are gallantly always on ground, are ready to do the job. They are doing the job beyond any reasonable shadows of that.
While residents of the state wish the governor a successful second term, they stress the need for equal treatment and opportunity in governance.
This is a man of men, and God has chosen him to work for Adamawa State as a governor. And by the grace of God, we pray that God will grant him and give him more experience.
In terms of infrastructure, is 100% perfect, right? Then if we can look into the issue of the pensioners, because I'll soon be a pensioner now, and then at least some of the civil service that are agitating for at least for their pay or whatever thing, let him just settle it once and for all.
Now that he has been sworn in for a second time, let him channel his attention towards bringing dividends of democracy to the people.
They are also optimistic the governor will continue with the good works he has started, while urging fellow residents to always pray for the government to succeed. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
The World Bank has commenced the implementation of agroclimatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes project worth $700 million in 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory to help reclaim land degradation in the region of the country. Abdulhamid Umar, the National Project Coordinator who led an assessment team to Bauchi State, disclosed this to newsmen on arrival to the state capital. Adam Imam reports.
The National Coordinator said essentially Bauchi State became the first among 19 northern states and FCT on commitment to the project as far as the intervention is concerned. He added that those states are competing for $700 million on AgriSel projects intervention with counterpart fund.
Brought about by climate change, some to a very large extent by our activities as humans, to some extent by nature. The intention is that this intervention will reach out to those, particularly at the grassroots. We intend to turn what I saw in the sky, largely brown to green, where water provisioning will be made available for agricultural purposes, which is predominantly the mainstay of the people of Bauchi.
While engaging the stakeholders through their traditional rulers at the community level, the World Bank team says the purpose is to fight issues surrounding desertification, drought, landscape degradation, and deprivation, particularly in the northern parts. These communities are expected to leverage on the projects to benefit more. They train us a lot, especially in the area of environmental issues related to agriculture and planting of trees to prevent our community from windstorm, soil erosion, land degradation. We are proud of this intervention. At the Yankari Game Reserve, the team inspected some of the equipment and operational kits for reserving the forest to international standard procured by Bauchi State Government. They also interacted with forest rangers and other state project coordinators who came to Bauchi to see for themselves on what is expected of them.
Quantum of specialists altogether. In fact, we have not only hosted World Bank, but we actually hosted the whole of the world, because you can see the specialists cut across all the countries and continents. So we are very happy and we learn a lot. AgriCell has the issue of capacity building, and that's a good part of the project. So I want to assure you that all that we have noted and what they told us, of course we are commended, but they gave us some additional information how are we going to be successful as
of livelihood intervention. It is at the initial stage because they have to do the need assessment of the projects. We hope that with the support from communities, they will be part of the reserve and they will feel that yes, they have commitment that has to do with the management of the reserve. That will give us support.
He explained that the project is to run for 6 years, at the end of which is expected things will turn around positively and the communities will be good for it. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, on the foreign scene, unidentified assailants killed 2 customs officers, a policeman and a civilian in an overnight attack on a security post in northern Cameroon, the mayor and 2 military sources said on Tuesday. The attack took place at the entrance to the town of Mora in Cameroon's far north region, about 30 kilometers from the border with Nigeria. One of the military sources, who requested not to be identified, attributed it to the Boko Haram insurgency. He also said that 1 soldier and 2 Boko Haram fighters were killed in a separate attack on Monday evening on a military post in the far north town. Now, Mora was hit by several suicide bomb attacks in 2015 and 2016 by suspected militants from Boko Haram. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.